Sweet, we are on.
On the live.
Welcome back to the podcast. Hey, listen, I really would like to say thank you again, Mark, for having me over. I just wrote something down that I'd like to share with you on the podcast.
Okay.
And here it is. Listen, to start off with, I would like to start off by saying thank you for your views to the podcast. Thank you for your views. Thank you for subscribing. If you know anyone else who would like to subscribe, please subscribe. If you like us, please like us. And again, thank you for sharing.
Like
yeah, we appreciate it. You know,
man.
you guys are fantastic.
You do not like us.
And Mark the Archangel. And I just want to talk about Mark real quick to say I would like to give a very big special thanks to my brother Mark, who I find to be full of heart and intellect that isn't found just anywhere. His wealth of knowledge and passion and social justice is not only inspiring to me, but also that he is standing truth that there are great people in this world. Thank you, Mark, for your hospitality and for giving me your time and your friendship and inviting me over, brother. I appreciate that. I really do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Good dude, man.
And everything we talk about, like things that we haven't even talked about on the podcast, where Mark and I have talked about things that we both see different views in, but have the same interest or have the same views. And there's other things that we talked about that we didn't agree on, but I still love that too. I love it. And it gets me thinking, and it gets me to reflect on
flavors,
man. It's all of it.
It's the different flavors, man.
It's all part of the marriage and a friendship and family, as I call it. So
yeah.
Really appreciate
that's what this country's supposed to be about. You know what I'm saying?
That's America.
That's what it's supposed to be about. We get there.
I never take a shot. I can't even think of the last time I took one.
I'm a bad influence on Mike right now.
Because it's my man Mark, we're doing it.
On the shot for the
Salute.
Woo! Oh yeah. Get the blood flowing a little bit, you know?
I mean, so they were right. That was one thing from ancient Egypt too, right? Alcohol. One of the greatest inventions of all time.
Every culture had alcohol, man. Some kind.
Yeah, you
figured it out.
Even before them,
they
right?
figured
in other
it out,
places.
Man. They was figuring that out. Yeah, that thing. I think, me personally, I drink alcohol a lot to open up. I feel like it opens up like certain portals. You know what I mean? Relaxes me a little bit, gets me thinking, gets my mind thinking. Mm-hmm. You know. That's what I use it for. But Mike wants to talk about Aleister Crowley.
I'm interested in Aleister Crowley.
Aleister Crowley is considered, right, the wickedest man that ever lived. 666, the beast, right?
Okay.
And Aleister Crowley, I'm just gonna speak, you know, kind of freestyle. Aleister Crowley.
You read his book.
Yeah, I read a lot of stuff. I listened to his audio stuff like that. You know what I mean? And he was a guy. He was like a old school British occultist who was really rich. You know, I'm not sure how he got his wealth, but he was one of those super rich people back in the days who just had money you could just spend and, you know, do all kind of crazy stuff. And this guy was into like some real dark, people would consider it dark, you know what I mean? A real dark side where he was, you know what I mean? Like part of his book, like he had to do things like gross things, you know what I mean, to himself, to other people, to get himself to feel a certain way, and like he had to
get pure evil, huh?
Yeah, he was like a real evil. Like this guy had money. He rented out the pyramids at one time, and like,
wow.
Like who has? How do you do that? You know what I mean?
Rented out the pyramid.
Who can do that? You know what I'm saying? He slept. He wanted to sleep there. What did he do there? He did some type of, you know, he probably did some type of ritual, man. But fast forward to today, right? With this guy, right? This is how I found out about Aleister Crowley. I found out about Aleister Crowley from rock and roll.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I went to school in Wellesley, so that was the music out there at the time. You know what I mean? And to me, it was evil. Like I see these Kiss guys and these, you know what I mean? Like
Kiss, nice
and the
and
music is insane to me. Like I don't, you know what I mean? It's like I was like, what the hell is going on there, right? So it made me wonder, right? And then I come to find out that a lot of these rock and roll groups back in the day were influenced by this guy, Aleister Crowley. And I believe that these groups are influenced by the people who hire, like the record executive companies want these guys, make these guys get into this, or it's part of being part of this company, or you know what I mean, something along those lines. And fast forward even more to today, I feel like those same guys, right, who own those record companies back then still own those record companies now, right? And now they have the hip hop kids.
Wow. Okay.
And now if you listen to hip hop, it's totally demonic now.
Like the one that we talked about that before, where Nas giving, Satan the lap dance.
No, but as far as like there's a lot of groups from these different states like Florida, Chicago, where these kids are going to each other's graves and making videos and pissing on the dead person's grave, or going to the kid's family, grandmother's grave, or something like that, Mike. You know what I mean? Just doing stuff just totally evil, and you know what I mean? And a lot of them are tatting their faces up, and they're talking about killing and murder, and who's signing these kids?
Wow.
Who's giving these kids these $1 million contracts?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like it's these, to me, it's these same demonic entities that's controlling these young kids now, you know, and they're paying them to practice this stuff out, man.
Yeah.
And they're highly rewarded for influencing other kids to do it.
Yeah.
It's something with it, man. But back to the Aleister Crowley guy, right? Like I've seen
that's what it spawns into. Whatever you just said, that's what it spawns. That's the energy
I've
comes out of all this
artists like Kanye West,
Jay-Z,
with shirts that say do what thou wilt, or something along those lines. And I know that that's one of his quotes. Yeah. And then remember we were at work, and I was talking at work, and I was looking up on my phone, and I saw a quote from him, and it said the only sin is the denial of truth and knowledge. And that was one of his direct quote, right? Deep. And that's that. Even though, you know, and then you look at how evil this guy is, right? But that quote right there is,
at the same time,
because that explains a lot. Because of most people, I feel like
they go too far.
Most people deny truth and knowledge. You know what I mean? The average person, to me, don't want to really deal with what's really going on. You know what I mean?
You should just go to church or mind their own.
You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that at all. You know, and I pretty much do that. I just like to talk about things like that. You know, things like this.
Me too. Well, I know that all that stuff is totally legitimately real. It is. It's everywhere. I know, just like a lot of other followings and occults.
Another group, right? When I looked it up, right, just now, right, and I had looked this up earlier, but again on a different website. You see the first group that comes up under his name when you connect him with the rock and roll stuff.
Okay, the Beatles.
The Beatles, right?
All right, that's when they had like the left hand over the eye, and the shadow, and then they had an apple on the CD.
You remember all of that, right?
Yeah.
Right? Now, so think about this, right? How much of a cult following did they have?
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they made like Paul McCartney's like a knight over in Britain and stuff like that. You know, he's like royalty over there.
They made him a lord.
Royalty. Yeah. You know what I mean? Wow. So he spawns from this, right? And I saw an interview, right, one time with Quincy Jones, right? And Quincy Jones said that, right, the Beatles were the least talented group he's ever, like one of the least talented groups he's ever seen, right?
Yeah.
So basically, they were created.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were like
yes.
how they create these boy bands. How we would, when we were younger, they created these little boy bands, and everybody buys the posters and
Yeah.
The Beatles was like one of the first ones of those. You know what I mean? Like one of those super occult groups. How about that? You know what I mean? And you see the next one, and you remember.
Yes.
All the stuff that they were into.
Those are good bands too. They had Red Hot Chili Peppers, Led Zeppelin, yeah.
Led Zeppelin.
Because they all tuned in deep within the harmonics of the earth. And then they realized it all came to a central point, just like what I think Aleister Crowley came to a point to, right? Like,
yeah, that guy was dark, man.
But he got full access to everything though.
Yeah. And how did he get to do all of these things, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things that they talk about that, like, if you did that, like, you'd be in jail. Right. You know what I mean? Like, some real weird stuff. But he gets to almost brag about it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I like Satanism or whatever that. If you put it into the perspective, like, if they do fall in the lines of like harming children and families and things like that, then there's a negative force and field that can wrap that up and take it somewhere to a negative place where it doesn't involve the positive public that's still at large that should just run out and enjoy the American dream.
So you know
what I'm saying? Like, I know that bullshit's out there, but there's another energy out there that's trying to wrap that shit up.
You almost have to look at it like this, right? Right. Good and bad, right?
Yes, sir.
I feel like when I was a kid, right, like I can almost remember like being like maybe 3-4 years old. I know right from wrong. Mm-hmm. Most kids know right from wrong. You know what I mean? When they got a parent around them telling them don't do this, don't do that. By the time you're 2-3 years old, you pretty much know what you ain't supposed to touch, what you ain't supposed to do. You know what I mean? Even if you don't want to do it, right?
Yeah.
Unless, right, I feel like something might be like different with you. Like, some kids are different. Like, that's like the average regular kid. You see what I'm saying? The average regular kid.
There are a lot of variables out there. Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's the average. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's just the average every day. But then there's always other kids who are gonna stick their fork in the plug. You know what I mean?
So it's like, okay, children. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It is.
Not everybody's born with common sense.
Yeah,
all the time.
Older people tell you that. I learned that from older people, because older people had a lot of common sense when you talk to them, right? And I feel like older generations, like when we talked to those people at the store the other day, they had common sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just talking with them, they were a little out there, a little spacey. You know what I mean? But they were on there.
They've been through the trials and tribulations, right? They've been tested, they survived it.
They're going through shit. Yeah. But they was,
good people.
They had good spirit. Like, they had a good spirit. You know what I mean? And they was upset they couldn't donate their food. They couldn't have had much stuff. Like, I wonder what they had. Like, they probably didn't even have much. They just wanted to donate it. They was like, we're not throwing this away. You know what I'm saying? They probably been hungry. You can't even feed people. How about that? You can't feed homeless people. Stores can't give food to hungry people anymore because people sue them.
Yeah.
How messed up is that?
Yeah.
Man.
Poverty, it's pretty bad.
No wars on poverty, Mike. But there's wars on drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got the war on drugs. That's never ending, right? They got the war on terror. That's never ending, right? They should make a war on poverty, right? And that should be never ending too. How about that? See what I'm saying? Yeah. Why not do that? Why not put millions and billions of dollars into that? How much stuff would that cut out?
Yeah, it's all, what's it all about, right? Just setting up laws and groups that can do that.
Too much. Yeah.
But it all involves money.
Yeah, money is the variable, and
And
that's why they
having
don't
the
want
right people. You can't just have anybody do something like that.
Yeah, and that's why they don't want that no type of these like Bitcoins and all that type of stuff. They don't want nobody else. Anybody else who got their face on a dollar bill, they're gonna blow them up. You see what I'm saying? You feel that?
We know.
You know, right? And why is that? Because that's the system, and that's the glitch in the system, right? Suppose that money with that face on it becomes just as valuable as this money with these faces on it. Then what happens? Then now we ain't that powerful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You and that paper ain't even backed by nothing anymore. So it's all like a now it's almost like a smoke screen now. You know what I'm saying?
Matrix.
The gold ain't there no more.
Well, I mean, even
what's going on? Who got it now? Where is it at? It ain't disappeared, so where is it?
you're not wrong, but it's like even if they wanted to hold up the gold standard, there's too many people, there's too much money to where like there's just not enough gold to do that.
You know how expensive gold is now?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I go look at stuff like that all the time. And I remember when I was younger and I used to buy jewelry and I'd be looking at this stuff like, damn, man, this is 3 times what I paid for it 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
I didn't like
it. If you had it, man, if you had gold like that and you kept it. You know what I mean, man? You had $20,000 worth of gold and you just kept it, and then now it's worth 60, 70. You know what I'm saying?
Like, that'd be pretty nice.
Man, I know. Shit. But you don't think like that. You don't think about, like, I got these damn baseball cards that I wish they would go up in value, but every time I look at them, it's just, they're old. Some of them are old too. I got some good players, man. But let's talk about, I was at work talking with this guy, Mike, about, he was talking about the same shit that there's a show he watches, he said it's called Ancient Aliens or something.
Yeah.
And he said, he was into, I heard him talking and I interjected myself, you know, and he started talking with me and he was loving it, you know what I'm saying? Because I said, oh yeah, I know, it's like, and he was basically saying like, what if, same thing you say, what if we're like insects to some other beings? You know
I'm totally
like, you see how ill ants are, like how you say how ants move and they do this and What if there's something bigger than us looking down on us?
I'm in with that thinking.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm in with that. I'm in that drawer. I'm digging in it. Saying, listen,
yeah, right.
Something, right? Like what you're saying, like something highly intelligent, nothing other than us, comes down to this planet and says, you know, they just own it. They organize it.
This is what the guy said, Mike. He said that he said I hope they do come down here, right? He said I'm waiting for them to come down here.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
This is why and he said
okay.
He told me why too.
Yeah.
He said because he's tired of this shit that's going on, yeah. And maybe they'll come down here and change it. He said it's been going like this for too long. Like this is crazy. Like it's just going this loop.
A big crazy
this
loop.
Crazy
yeah.
loop something needs to change it, man. You know what I mean? And he was like, maybe, you know, they come down here and change it. So, I don't know. Not in your lifetime, probably not in mine, but you don't know.
Yeah, it's all You
know?
And plus, like, how would they do it? Right?
They already here, right?
Yeah,
they already did it.
They're already doing it. They're already doing it. It's all process and using what you have. And I mean, it's probably like in our world, like how our world works with work and not enough people and the right people. Then you take that same model on like a larger scale, from them to us. It's kind of like the same thing. And like, how come the people are like, how come we don't have better presidents? How come we don't have?
I know.
But isn't that? And it comes down to like a bigger scale being the same as the small scale.
What's
like,
going on, man?
Not enough. You wait for the right ones. They all make mistakes. Yeah, and like it's slow process.
Vote for Biden or Trump? Are you kidding me? like we ain't got nobody of of all of the people in this country, Mike, all of the politicians, all the people doing things, all of the, those are our only two choices, or you know what I mean? Like, oh my God.
It comes down to money and power
money
too,
and,
bro.
money,
right?
and, money and yeah, of course.
And they
cash rules.
Their family. Once again, for going full circle loop on what we were talking earlier with those guys, that they already know about this ancient Egyptian stuff and Aleister Crowley and dark magic and white magic and the psychology of it all, being groomed into it generation upon generation, and then having that type of brain and mindset ruling the world is just, it's mind-boggling. And then they talking about aliens on top of the fact.
Look, remember I was talking about this at work the other day? The oligarchy.
Yeah.
Oligarchy is a form of power structure in which power rests with a small number of people. These people may or may not be distinguished by one or several characteristics, such as nobility, fame, wealth, education, or corporate, religious, political, or military control. Right? And when I looked that word up, right, Mike, the other day, the most what came up was Trump, right, and Kushner's, and that's I think that's his like son-in-laws or something like that. Like
I don't know who
like
Kushner is. Yeah.
The Kushner, he was on Trump's he replaced Bannon. Remember Steve Bannon? Trump had that guy who basically got Trump elected. Guy with the beard, big white guy, heavy set white guy.
I love
with the
Trump,
beard.
but I can't remember that. Yeah,
He had the beard, and this guy Steve Bannon had like he had like a underground type of following. You know what I mean? And Trump brought this guy on his side, and this guy got his whole following behind Trump. He had like a major following, yo. Like all of them people in the Midwest and all that kind of, you know what I mean? Like got him on board, you know, and like I think they even like brought the guy up on charges after it was all done and all this type of stuff. Like he was one of Trump's cronies.
Okay.
But he know how to use that guy to bring in all of these people from a certain, you know what I mean? Just a whole wave, man. And it's like he woke up. Like this guy was able to wake up a whole fucking wave of people, Mike. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
And get him to come out for Trump, and then Trump had to basically get rid of him. You know what I mean? Like because that's how the game goes. But the oligarchies are families that in this country that are able to take wealth, right? Like say like the Trump, like everybody knows that Trump's dad owes a lot of money in taxes. Yeah. They said $500 million. If they would have calculated, he was able to not pay.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying, you know? So these families are able to do stuff like that, right? Be involved in certain things, right? Like how they say they were gonna build the wall, right? The dude said that they were just like getting billions of dollars for just fixing the old wall. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a scam, basically. You know what I'm saying? Some bullshit like that. Like I watched a little documentary where this guy owned some land, right, where the wall was supposed to go, right, and then the wall stopped, Mike, right? And then there was all of this little land, right? And this guy had a house there. He was like, "Oh yeah, I can walk right across anytime I get ready to." You see what I'm saying? It was craziness, man. So it's all. But they're able to do stuff like that and not be prosecuted and get the money from it. You know what I'm saying? And their families are able to grow wealth and like the Kennedys were able to bootleg.
Yeah.
Like it's not like the government didn't know they were bootlegging.
You know what's funny about that?
They were able to do it and get millions and millions and millions of dollars, and then
RFK says that's not true.
This is not true. How they get all that money?
That's not true.
How they get all that money?
Happen.
How they get all that money then, man?
That's the same kind of guys that are like, mafia's not real. All that stuff.
The mafia is not real. And then right, how do people
stick
right?
Eating ice cream.
how do all of these, like, think about the richest people, Mike, right? Like the people who got trillions and millions, billions, just say billions of dollars, right? But they had this money from like these families, these old school families who just had they got all the land and all the wealth and all that, right? Like when it first started, like how did they get that, man? How did that? Who are these people who were able to? You know what I'm saying? And that's what the old guy at work was saying. He said those are the aliens.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Those they were able to grow this whole shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From way back.
It never ended.
Never ended. The loop is the loop. Yo, it's still a loop.
Yeah.
It's still a loop, man.
I agree. I mean, money.
I told at work, I told the guy Caesar, right? I said, Caesar, let me tell you something. I was like, I'm gonna tell you a Black History fact today, right? So I said, you know Wall Street, right? And he was like, yeah. And I said, you know, built Wall Street, right? And he was like, no. I said, slaves, right? And then I said, you know what was one of the first stocks on Wall Street?
Yeah.
He said, no. I said, slave. And I said, you know where Wall Street is built at now? Right on top of those slaves.
Oh, wow.
20,000 of them.
Jeez.
They built one of the buildings and they excavated them, Mike.
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if that ain't demonic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The
demonic is demonic. Right? Yeah.
They're using that. They're using that, man. Like you know, that's how I look at it. They're using that energy, man. Like just how they go and dig up the tombs, right? Those are graves.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna see them dig up no George Washington or dig up no Thomas Jefferson and put him in the museum. You see what I'm saying to you? Like these are Thomas Jefferson's bones. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause they weren't there, but they go dig up, dig up King Tut. Like that's his grave. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to dig up nobody's grave.
I mean, yeah. All these artifacts of ancient cultures that have anything to do with any type of spiritualistic representations has power to it, right? And
how about the King Tut sword?
Oh, a King Tut sword being from outer space, basically, because the sword, the stabbing piece, the blade came from it came from a comet that came from space, and it chiseled it up. And
did you ever see it?
It's pretty badass.
I saw it. Right. It looks like
so long ago, where I need to see it again. Let's look at it right now. King Tut's sword. Actually, it's like King Tut's space sword, right? Yeah, like.
Had like a glass ending to it, right?
King Tut may have had a space weapon, researchers say, according to a recent study published by the Meteorites of Planetary Science. An iron dagger buried with King Tut may have been made from a meteorite.
Why are they saying may?
Well,
they're saying they found a meteorite. The King Tut just happened to find a meteorite and make a sword out of it, and no other people all over. They didn't make only one.
Iron, made of iron, huh? Wow, iron from a meteorite. That's pretty badass.
Iron from a meteorite. You believe that?
Yeah.
It came from a meteorite?
No, I do.
So they found a meteorite and they just made one sword out of it. Just one.
It comes back down to like what you're talking about, where like they're getting.
You think it was a little meteorite or a big old meteorite?
They're getting this knowledge from these
It's bullshit.
Entities, bullshit. And
bullshit.
The gold
with the pyramids, how the pyramids were. Okay, with the limestone, right? They said the limestone reflected all the way up to outer space, right? Why did they need to do that? Maybe a guide?
Well, goes along with all the stars they're already following anyways, right? It's pretty awesome, man.
You see the same thing?
Yeah.
Those are stars. Like, now they
up
up there, and there's more stuff. Like, that's what we're looking at now. Pyramids.
See this?
What if we're looking at pyramids, Mike?
Dang.
Imagine that. Yeah, we might. You never know, man. And they telling us that they stars.
Like these pharaohs were like getting downloaded information of like.
Okay, how about when you said
The snake and the bird.
the different types of people we were talking about, right? Imagine if Egyptians were doing experiments on people, right? They got all of the statues with the different snake, the you know what I'm saying? The half this, the half that, and then remember the like the centurions, or what are those horses, the half horses and all that type of stuff. And what if that was the you know what I'm saying?
Or Medusa with the snakes all in her hair and everything. After she was
okay, and then when you think about crazy stuff like that, right? Like, okay, just think about this, right? Where's all the 7 foot tall people at? Where's all the midgets at? Right, I go every day, all day, right? Where are they at? Right? Yeah. Where are these people at? Where are all of the people who are like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they say all of these big ass people. They say, oh, they're in the NFL. Where's all these big ass monster dudes at, yo? Where are they at, yo?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're hiding them, Mike. You know?
That's what it is, right?
They're hiding them places. I'm telling you, man. Like, something's going on.
And like, here's the metrics. Like, if you're super athletic, you know this game. But then again, like, yeah, like it's just how it sets up, right? You got all these athletes are superhumans. And that's where all the superhumans are going.
And how about they figured out you give the superhumans money?
Yeah.
All you gotta do is give the superhumans money.
So everything they know is really, they have to be very smart to be where they're at. Yeah.
No, not if you're a superhuman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, okay, just like singing. Like, if somebody who can just sing, right? You can just sing. You got the most beautiful voice, yo. Like, that's a gift from God, or from, you understand? From like they say that you might think that, how they say that Satan was a musician. You heard that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So the music, I look at the music now, right? I look at it as part of that, man. Like, the music is the trance. For me, the music was the trance. As a kid, the music had me in a trance, yo. Like, my dad was so hardcore, right, Mike, on me not listening to this certain music, right, when I was a kid. And I was so hell-bent on listening to it, right? And now at my age, right, I totally understand why my father didn't want me to listen to that shit.
Yeah, it gets deep.
Because it gets deep, man. It's not just music.
No.
It's not. It's
a fact. Yeah.
It's a fact, man. You know what I'm saying? And I try to tell people that, and they try to tell me that. And I got a friend who will not. He'd be like, no. But I know now, right? Listen how deep this is, right? When I was a kid, right? I listened to music, right? Everybody did this, right? It was this. Boom, bap, boom, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom. So everybody's moving like this. Boom, bap, boom, boom, bap, right? Moving, grooving, right? Now with the music nowadays, right, Mike, they turn the frequency all the way down, right? All the way down to where it says 6 megahertz, right, in the music. So when you hear these songs on the radio, right, these guys are singing these lullabies and you know what I'm saying? The kids are in a trance.
Yeah.
Right? And they know the kids are in a trance, right? This is science now, right? So now that they're in this trance, right? Now we put these evil messages, these subliminal messages, all these messages in while they're in this trance, right? Yeah. They've been known that watching TV brings you down to that it's like 6 megahertz or something, right? TV brings you there. So they've been programming people with television, you know what I'm saying? So now they've got the music, they took away they got it all digital now, all the analog, you know what I mean? They got the waves, and I'm telling you, I feel like I watched something that said that they can make you sick by changing certain frequencies.
Oh, that's already a known science. Yeah, that's control.
It make your body sick, right? I said, oh yeah.
What do you think about this one where there's a picture of a guy, right? He's the king in ancient Samaria, known as Iraq today. He's got his staff. He's got the goat behind him, and a bunch of symbology that this message to him.
What's circled? What is that? This circle.
What circle?
The red circle. What is that?
This right here is the stars. Yeah, the sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and so it stands all the planets.
And what's in the middle
of all of this right here is not really sure, bro.
Did you?
I mean, but this right here is like the snake, the snake, or it could be just like the. I don't know. It could be like the.
It looks like your hand.
Tool, yeah. Oh yeah, that's part of his arm right there. Yeah. They're like wizards, dude, right? Like this is like 3,000 years ago. This thing came from. That's what they're saying. So like the same pattern of knowledge.
How old do you think like that area was? What is that?
Ancient Samaria, modern day Iran. Iraq.
Do you think that that's the reason why they keep these countries fucked up? Think about this, right?
They were trying to help that country.
No, but okay, let's think about when I was a kid, right? Just think about Ethiopia, right? Yeah. Like, I know now, right, that some of the first people on this planet are from that area, right? That's what they're saying, right? That's what these scientists are saying, right? Some of the oldest people are from the Ethiopian area, right? And I remember me being a kid, right? And that was like the poorest country. That was the only African. It was like the only African country that I knew from TV. You know what I mean? And they were showing the kids on TV and they were saying, the 35 cents a day you can save a kid and yada yada. That's where they were at. That's what I'm saying. That's what they were saying that this money was going on, whatever. But who the hell knows? The UNICEF. Remember UNICEF? With the little boxes. You don't remember the litle boxes they had? No, see, they used to give us these little boxes, Mike. Right? They were flat, right? And you fold it out, and they got a little handle, and they got a little change drop, and they're probably this big. And you're supposed to go around and say, this is for UNICEF, and people put a cord in it, whatever, and then you bring it back to your teacher. All the kids bring it back to their teacher, And they do this all over the United States, man. Big money.
Yeah, our school didn't have that.
Where'd you go to school at? Elementary?
Elementary, I went to school in Virginia. Virginia, and then Chesapeake. It was
a country town, a country place.
We lived in a trailer park. It was multicultural.
No, I mean, was it a city or was it a town? Like
it was like just a crowded fucking part of Chesapeake, Virginia, bro. Like there was not a small school about it, dude. It was like a fuckload of people there. Everyone was like every trailer park was congested. Looking back on it, it's all multiracial. Same shit you see now is still happening back at that time too. And then like we lived there for a while, and then after that went to Maine. Went to do like some grammar school up there, and my high school up there in Sumner Memorial.
You know that my mom does hair, Mike, right? My mom had a class that she was teaching in Maine, right?
Yeah.
She was teaching black women how to do white women's hair, or she was learning herself. I'm not sure.
I mean, there is a difference.
Yeah, of course, there's a difference, right? She had known how to do it. Was like a refresher class because she had learned it in school, crazy. But she hadn't done it in so many years that. And that the Ku Klux Klan came across the street and stood there because she was doing white women's hair, bro. Wherever she was at, whoa, and freaked her out, man. That's a true story, dude. Man, they didn't do anything. But they damn sure came across, about 20 of them came across the street, you know what I'm saying? On their shit, man.
That's nuts, dude.
Nuts, dude. They serious.
Sorry to hear that, too.
Yeah, they serious. Yeah, I know this kid who just moved out there, man, and his closest neighbor is like, it's not even close, right? Yeah. And he's still having problems with the dude. Dude live like a half a mile away, Mike. It still want to cause some problems, man. You know?
So occultism, so I guess Ku Klux Klan does fall into that, but I want to get into like the occult, right? Like, I mean, even though we're in America, even though we have coddled, in my opinion, coddling words like presidents and government and senators and
you can't. I learned this that
at the end of the day, like once it's all put together, it's all you can like you dress it up any way you like it, right, with words. But at the end of the day, you have what you have, and it replicates what's always been around.
Yeah, you can't. I read this thing one time that said that in this country, like a senator,
presidents are our dynasties.
Yeah, a senator over here would be called like something over there, like in there, like a knight or something over there. But they don't use it over here. You see what I'm saying? You like the president is basically a king. Yeah. And at the time he's the president, like he's the king. You know what I'm saying?
But even kings, like, and I'm not trying to throw this out there, because I think our presidents are like in such a security mode, like nothing's ever gonna happen to them. But like JFK is an example of like a president, the only president that I can think of. Okay, I take it back. Other than President Lincoln, and then JFK stand out a lot because they were both assassinated. They both spoke out about secret societies, and they were trying to formulate a more unity of everybody together. Everyone's in the pie. Bang, yeah. And then that's what happens, and it leads into secret societies, and it leads into like the gunmen, or then like it turns into a mystery, and then that mystery you already know isn't a real mystery. It's whether if you want to leave it there or not.
Yeah, that's the smoke screen. Man. That's the smoke screen. You know?
That's what I came to realize, which is insane, because it's like, wow, it gets that deep. And I'm like, yep, gets that deep.
This is something else that the guy at work told me that hit me pretty good, right? He said that, you know how they're letting these rich people take these flights up to space. You gotta pay like $250,000 or something like that for this to take this flight, and only these rich, right? He said that he said that they're taking them up there and showing them something. Imagine that. Yeah. Imagine that, right?
The extra knowledge that comes with space.
Right. And then he said, right, there's gonna be a he said they're gonna be up there on another planet building something real dope, yo. Like not no bullshit place, yo. Like a real deal place, right? Yeah. And they're gonna bring these rich ass people, yo. Once this place we were at gets fucked up, they're gonna bring these rich people up there. Yeah. And they're gonna show them this, and they're gonna be like, hell yeah. And they're like, you're gonna sign this waiver because we ain't coming back to get you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is where you're gonna be, like forever and ever and ever, you know. And I said they're already doing that.
How is it that William Shatner grows up? He's in the Twilight Zone. He's in the Star Trek.
And he said that
and then he goes into this outer space for real, legit. The flip phone.
And then he brought up the doors that open. Like how we go to the supermarket and the doors open like automatically. They had those. They had those. Yeah, man. He said that too.
I didn't think about that.
That's something that simple, right? Grocery store. Bam. Yeah. They had that back then, man. They go to the door, close behind them. You know what I'm saying? I said, oh yeah, they had and he said the thing was like the flip phone. But
now it's all there.
Now it's all there. Even I got this kid I know who even wears some glasses that look like the like what's the guy that used to the LeVar, the black guy. He had the glasses that, you know what I'm saying? I know this kid who wears the glasses now. I think he's cool as hell. He looks crazy as hell, Mike.
You know what's funny? I was watching you reminded me, I was watching a thing on Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was interviewing President Clinton, and like they were talking about a moon rock. This is all it was about, was a moon rock from the moon. It's 3.5 billion years old, and he's like, and President Clinton was like, listen, he's like, listen, this moon rock solved problems. Like basically, basically NASA had the moon rock, and President Clinton asked them, he says, as a favor, can I keep it in the White House until my presidency is over? And they're like, yeah. So he kept it in the middle of the office in the White House. So like when they'd all come in to have their discussions on like law and where to go from there, they'd all start arguing and everything, and he'd say, hey, listen, you see that moon rock right there? He said, that thing is like 3.5 billion years old. Like we're just passing through. Compared to everything else that's going on in the big picture, like, we're just passing through. So it's good that in essence, like any what he's saying, it implies, I think, to everyone and everybody, and see if he's speaking for myself, where it's like if everyone it was able to get that and get along, then all the problems of like, there's a lot of problems that can go away, like racism, sexism, and all these negative, things like that.
I think it's a very few.
But not everyone can,
Few, I think like it's a very few people who spoil a whole bunch, basically. Because this is something I've never seen in my life, Mike, right? I've never seen, right? Like say myself, for instance, say I was a teenager, or say I was a young man and I got into it. Say somebody's called me a racial slur, right?
Okay.
I've never seen another white person defend me. Like I went to school with all white. I've never had a white, not a teacher, not a nothing, yo.
Well, I would, dude.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. If anyone ever says anything about you, dude, you're not around, I'll say something.
It's like they fall in. It's like they fall into codes. Like, oh no, I got to go on this side. Like it got racial. But I've never had that. Like you understand? There's opportunities where a person could have said, "Don't talk to him like that. Don't say that to him."
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Even teachers, and they don't say it, Mike. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, all that's
it's deep. We had a situation where my daughter got in a fight at school, man. Right. Turn into that same energy, right? And my daughter, the other kid hit my daughter first and everything. They ended up fighting, right?
Yeah.
There was no courts involved in it. It was a school incident, right? But my mom pushed the issue, so they ended up having to go to court, right? Because my mother just she couldn't talk to the other girl. She just wanted to talk to the other girl. That's the kind of person my mother is. She just wanted to look the girl in the face and tell the girl, you can't hit people.
Yeah.
I don't care what's going on. You can't put your hands on other people, or this happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The girl had already told her and apologized to my mom, to my daughter, and everything, right? But there was this officer, Mike, right, at the beginning who came, right?
Yeah.
And he wanted to make my daughter the bad guy, yo. He was hell bent on it, yo. You see what I'm saying, yo? He was hell bent on it, right? Even though it was already admitted, and even when he wrote the report, he wrote some bullshit on the report.
Yeah.
Even though a little girl was, you could ask her right there.
I mean, bullying is a real issue.
It wasn't even a bullying thing. It was that this was my kid's friend. Like I used to go pick them both up at one time, and they were teenagers. They got into some, you know what I mean? I probably with some boys or something. Who knows the real thing? You know what I mean? Some boy probably liked her now. She don't like her. Some girl said this or something. You know what I mean? But they end up getting a little tussle. Nothing serious, you know. But just the fact that this guy tried to change the whole scenario, like. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, damn. I said that's happened to me a lot. It's like, damn.
It's because if you keep going deeper and deeper into it, there's nothing but evil there. You know?
Evil,
and that's what it comes down to.
Okay.
I promise you.
And what do you do? All right, what do you do? Right. Let me ask you this question. Right. When you come up against that type of evil, right? How do you defend yourself?
You don't focus on it. My opinion is like if you focus on evil and you wrap yourself around it, it'll find you. And based on your environment and based on like what you actually do as an independent person, all calculates in the biological decision of what's actually happening in the real world that we can't control. And then they look at you like, you know what? He's got a lot of things that are true, and I agree with him. You know what I'm saying? Because there's white dudes, just like I'm one of them, right? There's plenty of Eminem. There's all kinds of white guys out there that say, listen, where the racism has been with us and is still with us, and they'll be around when I passed away, just like there's starvation and stuff like that. Like, no matter how hard you tackle all these things, once you start tackling it, you're gonna find out that there's more issues going on that have become variables. Like, why not all the people that are homeless in houses? Well, I know this for sure. Is like I've been homeless a lot of times in my life. Mine has to do with like I just didn't like program myself right to get into. I mean, like when I left home, bro, like I figured I'd join a cruise ship. I was traveling the world and like that. So I was thinking on a whole other level. And everything, but the thing is that 99%, and I hate to say this, like 97% of the people that I found homeless in the streets, because I was there, they all got issues, bro. Like, they got some serious issues. Like, it's that loop. Like, they're going to the alcohol, they're going to the crack or the heroin and everything like that, and they're in their own hell. And the reason why they're living here doing it is because he who is above, who actually makes the decisions for him, says, listen, bro, like, this is how I'm gonna spare your life, and because of whatever evil that happened between him and the one that knows what's going on in his mind, because it's all regulated. It's all regulated at the end of the day. The Cyclops in the sky, or whatever you want to call it, is like, listen, bro, like everything's there for a reason. It's one big giant casino. Yeah, because there's like you don't know what's going on. There's like, what if there's Vietnam guys that went down to that fought in Vietnam, right? That did right, like they did what they were told. And then those guys that didn't, and they raped and pillaged and burned bridges, and they came back, all of a sudden those guys are homeless. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that even though evil happens,
that means people are fucked up. That means
the world is more fucked up than people really want to know, and that's why people are
fucked up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where Luciferianism comes in, and all that other stuff, saying that Jesus or saving Jesus ain't forgiving people.
Remember that movie Platform I told you to watch?
What's that?
It was a movie called Platform.
I never seen it.
This movie is about. It starts off like a hotel, like a rich ass hotel. I'm gonna do it real quick. Like, it's a rich hotel, right? And they're cooking all this fancy lobsters, these shrimps, or all these platters, or whatever, right? And then they bring all this food right to this platform, right? It's probably maybe like a 10 by 10 square, right? 10 foot by 10 foot square, right? And the platform goes down to one floor, right?
I remember you telling me about that.
And there's a couple prisoners there, right? Yeah. And they get to eat. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes down another floor, and then they get to eat, right? It's all leftovers, and then it goes. Nobody knows how many floors there are, right? You know what I'm saying? But it goes down, and there's less food and less food and less. So as it goes down, it gets more and more dangerous and more violent, because the people who are down there ain't eating and they ain't getting food, right? Yeah. But you don't know when you wake up.
It's like societies. Yeah.
It's like society, right? When you wake up in the morning, right? You don't know what floor you're gonna be on, right? But the whole moral of the story is that when the tray leaves down there, right, there's enough food for everybody.
There's too many greedy people.
There's too many, you know what I'm saying? There's people who piss in it.
Oh, jeez.
It gets to certain floors, they'll piss it. They'll eat what they want, and then they'll piss in it, Mike. And they know it's going down.
So it's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. The whole movie's a metaphor, and it's deep, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's one guy in there. This is what he's in jail for, Mike. Listen how deep this is, right? He sits home and watches infomercials on stuff to buy, like. You know what I mean? When you buy the TV shows, the home shopping club type of shit back in the days, you know what I'm saying? So he sits home, he watches that all day, and this knife commercial comes on, the Ginsu 2000, right? The sharpest knife, never have to sharpen it again, slice tomatoes, slice a boot, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, he wants this knife, right? So he orders the knife, right? Then he said the knife cost him like $200, which was a lot of money back then, you know what I'm saying? So he said a week later he was watching TV and they came up with the new Ginsu knife, right? A week later, right? He said he was so mad he took his TV and he throws his TV out the window, right?
Yeah.
His TV hits a person and kills a person, right? But the person's an illegal alien. So in his mind, right, he's like, if the illegal alien wasn't in our country illegally, and I could have thrown my TV out the window, you see what I'm saying? You're like, that's his logic, but he's locked up in jail basically because he just lost his temper over this damn knife, yo.
Yeah, there's just a lot of animals out there with thinking like that, right? And it just doesn't really apply to people like you and I.
You're right, but that's who we're around, though. And this is what I learned as I got older, right? If you want to get away from those type of people, you got to get money.
Well,
there's no other fucking way in this matrix that we live in to get away from those people, but get yourself a couple $, and get the hell away from them because, Mike, they'll drive you crazy. Me, drive me crazy, dude.
It's like the pyramid, right? And the top of the pyramid is like it's just the evil knowledge.
I ain't
that
at the
comes
bottom,
with it, bro. Somewhere in there, I guess I am, dude. Because like I mean, unless we turn it upside down, then like. But at the same time, it's just no matter where we are in it. I'll tell you what, we're not in the bottom for sure because the bottom is like. What you said, deep underground. Like, say, like the state of Colorado, they have a federal prison over there. It's maximum security. All the evil people go there, and it's deep underground. And when they go down there,
villains.
Yeah, the super villains. So when they go down there, they don't leave.
Yeah.
Like John Gotti went down there. The other kid that did the mass.
They used to have
the other kid that did the shooting and mess. What's that? The shooting we were talking about before. The two kids came over from like a Russian type of country. Yeah, the bombers.
The Boston Marathon.
The Boston Marathon. When they did the Boston Marathon, one guy shot up, got justice on him, and the other one is still downstairs in Colorado because this country is like a. I
want to talk about that. We talked about something
real quick, but this country, even though like you see bad things happen, but you also got to notice that like good things take care of that. Like this country is like a huge fortress, dude. It's a fortress.
I know it is. I know.
You know.
But they also hide a lot of stuff from us too. Like we don't get a lot of stuff. Like I give you an instance, right? Boys in the Hood, right? Remember Boys in the Hood, the movie. Menace to Society, the movie.
Yeah.
Juice, the movie. Paid in Full, the movie, right? When those movies come to Massachusetts, right, they usually come here for 1 weekend, like. They have them come here because back then the city was so crazy, right? Something's gonna happen. Like if that movie's if we get to go see that movie every weekend, right? So it's gonna be a problem every weekend. It was messed up like that, you know what I'm saying? So they restricted certain stuff. You're like. There were no man. I'm telling you, they were like, oh no, but it's still like to this day, Boston is a different type of place, man. Like a lot of you don't know no really hip hop artists that come from Boston, Massachusetts, right? Because everybody just hates everybody. It seems like, and everybody's like, this is a dark place to me, man. Like once since I left here and came back.
Yeah,
but it's a secretly dark place.
Maybe like the darkness was always there.
Yeah.
Just never noticed it because
I love it. And I came back, I missed it.
It's always there.
Yeah, no, this is man, like this place in Rhode Island. You know it's some history, some real old school colonial.
It goes into Freemasonry, and it goes into deep knowledge. It goes into Egypt again. It goes into magicianry and lizards and all kinds of owls and
the skull and bones, right?
Skull and bones,
and not the fraternity, right? That we know that what do they say?
Sure, it goes deeper than that.
The Bushes and all of them.
Yeah,
like, not them.
It even goes into like a.
This is what I like how they remember that pirate flag that we know everybody knows the pirate. Just right. Now just imagine this, right? Imagine a group of call them mercenaries, Mike, right? But they're these dudes are billionaires, yo, right? But they're evil dudes, right? There's a group of them, right? And they just want more money, right? Mm-hmm. So they go to country, right? With their wealth, right? Together.
Yeah, all the pirates.
And do things. boom, let's do this. Let's mess this up. Let's do this. We call these people, give these, you know what I'm saying? You, and they're basically like they're new age pirates. They don't roam the sea no more. They roam the, you understand what I'm saying? You, they roam with their money. They roam with other people. They get people to find out. And I think, right, that like how New York is all crazy and messed up. You know how crazy, like I be watching a lot of stuff on New York. New York is going through some crazy shit right now, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Whole world.
And you see, right, the guy de Blasio, right? Bill de Blasio, right? He's the mayor of there, right? And he is an old school dude from like when he was younger, he was named Will like Bill Wilhelm Jr. or something, right? Okay. That's his name or something, right? It was like a name he used back then, and he was part of some type of Turkish militia group or some shit like that, yo. So like those are his roots, yo.
Yeah.
Now he's in charge of New York, right?
Yeah.
So what is he like? And it's all, you see how crazy it's going.
I think the knowledge of that goes deeper than what you know. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't just let a guy.
They didn't used to let, right? I remember like as a kid, right? I had a friend who wanted to be in the FBI. He was one of my neighbors, Mike, right? Like he was clean cut kid, right?
Yeah.
But one of his brothers had went to jail for something.
Okay.
And since that disqualified him from that immediately.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying, you? Like, oh, you got a brother went to jail for drugs or something? Oh, yeah, no, sorry, we don't, not your type. Like, that's how they was back then, right? But when you get older, you come to find out, like, you see these FB dudes or whatever, and they got all types of people and all types, you know, it's who you know, and what it ain't what you know, you know what I mean? It's who you know and the connections and all of that.
I mean, all of it's real.
There was a whole fire department in Georgia, right? Mm-hmm. It was a small station, like probably like 8 guys, right? All felons.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to work.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Whoever hired.
Probably because like it's like felons like me were like, okay, it's like, so the guy went to get drugs when he was 20 years old, 40 years, like 20 years later, he's fine.
That ain't what it was. No, it was a good old boy fire station.
Oh, okay.
Like with whoever was in charge, right, was
tired of racism.
Was hiring. He was hiring. It was all white guys, right? But he was hiring these white guys, right, who had, like, they were basically his cronies. You know what I'm saying? He got them real legit firemen, $200,000 a year jobs, and it came to, you know what I mean? They worked there for their whole 10 years, 15 years, or whatever, and then something happened where somebody slipped and told or got jealous or got mad or whatever, and you see what I'm saying, you know? But they were able to, you know, it ended then, but they was able to live. But you can't do stuff like that up here, you know what I'm saying? That's only like them little towns down south and stuff like that where they, you know, where everybody knows everybody, and you know.
Oh yeah, dude, like every town you go to it's like that though. You know what I mean? Like even if it doesn't seem like it is, that's just part of the matrix fooling you. It's all connected. It's all like, because at the end of the day, it's still always going to be a pyramid. It's always going to be someone at the top watching all of that. And if they're doing that for a job, bet your bottom dollar they enjoy what they're doing. And they're getting paid to do it, and they're not going to stop. And that's the way it is. They get to see us. We don't get to see them. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. And it all boils down to like, and this is how I look at it. This is how I shape my world. Like those 2 generals in the Marine Corps, one's black, one's white. They don't even, like, just like what you and I talked about before, like, they wore through so much shit that they don't even care about that.
But at the end of the day, it's still a job. They're still both doing their job, right?
Yeah.
They care. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's how you gotta look at it. Like, that's their job. They're gonna perform their job to the best of their ability. I want to be the best general. He want to be the best general. So
America does a lot of things underlying that are positive that people just say, you know what? Let's just sweep it under the rug. Like poverty does get taken care of over here. If you were to look at the newer developed lower income developments that came around in the last 10 years compared to the ones that are still in India or Russia.
I know you're 1,000% right.
It's way better because the government put people like Obama into place to say, listen,
but it's coming.
That's what we want because, and I know, and
there's
I know
more homeless people like that.
I just want to say real quick, if I can just finish what I'm trying to say, is that like with the poverty, bro, is that like there's only so much you can do. What do you do? Like throw more people in there that aren't qualified, throw it up, then you got a bunch of, people that don't get along, and then when the quality of work comes out, it's a big waste of time.
It's just like how do you fight a war on drugs, though? Like how do you do that?
It takes people to get in there and do it.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't fight a war on drugs. If people want to get high, people are gonna get high.
Well, I mean, they've already fixed it.
Unless, right? If America really, like, that. Let me give a statistic, right? 80%, right, of the drugs from other countries, right, are sold in America. So if you got a country like, say, Colombia, Peru, 80% of the shit that they making over there is sold here.
Right.
Right. So that's a big. So if you go to, like, okay, say you go to somewhere like London, right? You can't get no goddamn weed over there. The dudes who are selling weed are like the mobs, like the Irish mobster.
Because I was there.
What I'm saying?
I was there. It's true.
So just
and they had bad poverty too.
So if America really wanted to have a war on drugs, right? They would really stop that shit from coming in here where we just couldn't get it, yo.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yo? Why is it so accessible? Why can everybody get it? Why is it just so easy to get it, yo? It's easy to get cocaine and drugs and stuff or whatever, heroin. It's easy to get heroin in these goddamn suburbs now than it's easy to get a kid can get heroin faster than they can get somebody to buy him liquor.
It sucks, dude. It's like
you feel what I'm saying, yo? It's easier to get somebody to buy you heroin than it is to get you liquor.
It's
as
like
a kid now.
Yeah, because like
what the hell is going on?
Because there's inner cities where it's all crack or was, right, and then there's other towns similar to that on the white side that are all methamphetamine addicts. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like on both ends.
Crystal meth.
Yeah, so that's what they like. This is what they like. So this is what they're. I mean, not saying that.
Do you know?
I'm not trying to stereotype it, but I'm just saying like that's the statistics. If you're going into dark drugs and poverty.
But let me tell you what they have now. They have
heroin.
Safe heroin houses. You heard of those, right?
This is
where they have nurses, Mike, and clean needles.
Yeah.
Whoa! If that ain't coddling, if that ain't some type of, you understand what I'm saying? What is that, dude?
We've entered a time, bro.
That makes it legal, right?
Remember when I was talking about? Number 79?
The number 79.
Yeah. Remember that? Did we talked about 79 before?
I don't remember.
All right, you don't remember that? Okay, we'll check it out. There's 79. No, sorry. There's 7.9 billion people on the planet today.
Yeah. What the?
All right.
I remember something like close to that ain't the number.
7.9 billion people. I don't get bad information like this, bro. It's like, and there it is for you. The world is filled with 7.9 billion who all identify with gender and whatever they are. So it's good. But they're all people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That number signifies to me, in Luciferianism and all types of ways that I could explain to you, is that's a lot of people. That's the most people that you've ever had. And check this out, bro, and I promise you it's true that in every single empire that's fallen, because Chinese has had dynasties that were so high and they fell. Because another asshole went in there and fucked it all up. And that's how it goes in all other generations. But all I just want to say is this, is that somewhere along the line, 7.9, that's why you got a lot of fuck-ups, because no one's... It's kind of like...
How about this?
Can I just show it to you real quick? You got a bunch of children. You're smart enough, though, right? You're smart enough. We just put a jar full of cookies right here. And there's a bunch of children. Now, if you're not there to tell them, say, hey, you're only allowed to have one, they're just going to eat them all. You know what I'm saying? So people at the top, it's kind of like that thing we were talking about. It's all it comes back into character.
Imagine this, like imagine this, Mike. Right? Let me give you a
Too
scenario,
many people solves it. It makes a lot of more problems. It creates more war, more poverty.
Imagine this though. Imagine something crazy like this. Right? I just thought of something. Right? Okay, like I saw this little TikTok video where it was a young kid, right? And he said that Jeff Bezos, right? is worth $177 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, and there's only 7.9 billion people on the planet. He said, and it's got exclamation points, right? So just imagine this, right? Imagine if, right? Jeff Bezos ain't the only person with hundreds of billions of dollars, right?
True.
American too, right? And we know these billionaires don't pay no taxes, right?
Yeah.
So if we put their tax that they supposed to pay together, it'll probably be way more than $7.9 million, right?
Yeah.
Now just say fuck the rest of the world, right? Just America, right?
Yeah.
They're Americans, we're Americans, boom, 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 right? Suppose they gave everybody $500 million, just in an account, right? I don't care. Listen, I don't care if you're a crackhead, if you're a drunk, if you're whatever. You can do whatever you want with. I don't care what your situation is, right?
I'm
Give a fuck. What's your situation? I don't care if you're in jail.
Everybody gets that money.
Everybody gets that money, right?
I'm with you.
Right? And it ain't nothing but an ass wipe.
Well, I believe in the fact that all that money would go right back to where it would been to originally, because
but
people are already in their loops and going to screw it all up.
Did you think people would care about robbing people for cars and sneakers and robbing people's houses? You think that was still like shit like that was still?
It'll solve the problem for a little while, but then it'll go not that long, because it doesn't change their behavior. Their behavior
you can't spend that much money in a lifetime, so it would turn into different problems, right? It would definitely morph into different problems, right?
Yeah.
But money would not be the factor of that.
Yeah.
Like what would turn into the problem? Like, you understand what I'm saying?
People buy more guns and they want to go be like, yo, I'm going to start something and overthrow the government. You got so much of that going on to where it's like, even if all of that took
anybody could do it. Like, it's not going to be like, it ain't like you got more money than like
Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, and Magic Johnson, and there's some other people, and I'm not saying that, but there's other who else am I talking about? They just come and tell my play is that they, I'm trying to say it the wrong way. Like, if Michael Jackson didn't have all that money to ruin his face and invite kids over and shit like that, you know what I mean? Some people, that money doesn't do a lot of good.
I know.
You know what I mean? And some of the people it does a lot of good.
So do you think that there's more evil people than are good people, or vice versa?
I think there's a lot more evil people than people want to give credit for, because I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Okay, I take it back. I take it back. There's more good people than evil, right?
No,
but the problem is
more
that good people.
There's more sheeples than good people.
Good people. Can I just finish my sentence? The good people that get money and then they get power doesn't mean that they're actually do what they said they were going to do when they were very at the bottom. Because once they get what they want, you don't know what's going to happen until that happens.
I know.
And a lot of people, dude, like and we could go on.
If it's just giving, like it's just a, you know what I mean? Like, like just look at the numbers on that. Like, look how much money did that? Like 7.9 million people in the world, and this one guy has $177 billion. Yeah. Right, so there's a whole bunch of other people who got $100 billion or this $1 billion, right? So them coming off of $8 billion, right? Not even for the whole world, just for our country. Yeah. I don't care nothing about the rest of the world, just for America, Mike, right?
Yeah.
What would that solve? This whole country, right? America is a commercial country, right? Buy. I got a better coat than you. I got better sneakers than you. I got a better chain than you. I got a better car than you. I got a better this than you, right? So if everybody had the same money, right, that wouldn't be the beef, yo. So what would be the fight? I'm just curious to see what would be the fight.
The thing is,
what would they fight about?
Competition is in nature. It's embedded. You can't even escape it. So when they stay like,
it would go back to real competition.
Goes into competition.
That would take out the like the guy who's just rich and who can just buy everything and just make you look like a shithead. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's rich and you're not rich or whatever. That would just even out everything. Like, it would be like a real, I would call it like a primitive. That would bring back a sort of primitive. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, it's all behavior, bro. It all depends on the person. I'll check it out. Look at it this way. Football teams is a good example, I think. Look at the Detroit Lions compared to the Rams. How is it the Lions have been around for like a long time? They get the Thanksgiving just an example.
Yeah, the game.
They never. Why is it that whole team, the whole organization that comes from the Ford family, never wins a friggin'? They lose more every season than in all the teams together. Yeah. And yet they got that quarterback to another team. That team, by the way, is brand new. It's only like 3 years old. A brand new stadium, and then fresh is always what I'm saying is like when you go from older to fresher thoughts, for a young team and things like what you're saying, like fresher ideas, all of that comes out of the chaos, because I believe in that. In chaos, sanity always prevails.
Yes. Those sanity type of prevails. Guys always come from chaotic situations.
It's all about the right people coming to play, because you don't want the wrong people being in those positions, and then they do so much damage. So it's just, my example is like, you're better off not having a father there than a drunk, beaten father. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that position is left open because there's just no one to fill it yet.
Yeah.
And then once that time comes, all these people are going to get cured. But until then, it's just my opinion, man. Because like, just like you, bro, I've met a lot of friends in life, and you can take it to the bigger picture to where like the test of time shows like what they're willing to do in life, what they're not willing to do. And I mean, people that are like highly motivated and change the world is just like, it's amazing. It's amazing. And then it sucks
that stop. Like I had this friend who was really creative. I gotta go pee. He was creative, man, where he had he used to get the key to the art department, had a whole key and department and everything. The teacher would give him the key. He could go there at night, like by itself, and use the whole art department. You know what I'm saying? Because he could draw better than the damn teacher.
Oh wow.
The shading, like we would do shading and stuff, like we draw like a bowl of apples or a bowl of fruit, and you have to shade it, whatever. This kid's eye, whatever. The teacher would see it. Oh man, the teacher was like, "Whoa, you that kid, you Cape Verdean kid."
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good topics, a lot to cover. And yeah, a lot of people, 7.9 billion people. What do you do about all that? It's like, it's good. It's a good idea. And that's what I like, is like we get everyone in on it, but like a lot of us are tied up that want to do something. You know, like I'm tied up in my job. You know, it's about making time to make a difference. You know, and everyone's living their own lives, so you just gotta wait it out until someone that can come in there and do the right thing. And do it all the way good, not halfway. You know, that's the difference, I think, right there. And personally, I give our country a lot of credit, bro, because compared to a lot of countries, you know, even though it went the way it did,
man.
Huh? Yeah, it's the shit. It's everything. Shit. You know, we you know, land of inventions, lands of ideas, lands of opportunity, lands of everything.
But it can get better.
Yeah,
it all can get better, man.
To me, that's the heart of it, you know. And anyone can make it out of here if you got the right attitude, right motivation.
I believe that too. The right environment, though. It's a lot about environment. When you're in the wrong environment, you do a lot of damage to you, you know.
Yeah. And
keep going.
See, we can keep going for a little bit longer if that's all right. So we got an hour, 18 minutes in. Wow.
Not bad.
Pretty sweet. So like, I don't know. Definitely wanted to get into some witchcraft, but we can do that next time if that's all right. We were getting into Aleister Crowley, and it starts there, and everything that you covered. It really goes deep into like bad behavior is just demonic, and demonic goes deeper into like, you know, it's a whole nother realm, you know, racism and
it's the whole thing. How about how you were saying, that guy was saying to me, this guy was saying how you don't get away with nothing. You might get away with it now. You might think you got away with it.
It can enslave you.
Yeah. I know.
can
know.
enslave you. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. I know it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, you did that. Now you're a fucking. You know what I'm saying? And then that type of existence.
Your thoughts.
That type of existence is real slavery, and I know it goes on day in and day out. And you never know it because the good people in the world just aren't aware of it, bro, because they're in their own bubble.
Yeah, I mean,
they're in their own world.
About me personally, right? Like when I was younger, like
we got good. I say we got good bubbles.
Yeah,
my bubble's good.
Right?
Your bubble's good.
I did a lot of, I'm gonna say stupid shit when I was younger. You know what I mean? Just running around being stupid.
Me too,
right?
bro. I learned from that,
and
I got punished.
It didn't hit me until I got to be like, I'm gonna say like 32, 33 years old, yo, when it really just like smacked me in the face, like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it hit me hard, man. And I was like, shit. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know? And then you look at stuff, right? And you almost look at it as if you've fallen behind, right? But you didn't fall behind because you learned from what you went through. You just have to learn how to use what you went through to get what you want now.
It's all building blocks.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wisdom.
You gotta learn. Yeah, whatever you went through, like in this society, whatever you gotta get some damn money, man. Like,
yeah.
If you don't have no damn money, then you ain't shit, and that's just what it is. People gonna tell you, that's how people gonna treat you, man. They're gonna treat you like they're better than you,
at it,
right?
Know?
That's that when you come across people, right? Let me tell you, like, that's what they're gonna do to you.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't even care if I present that I have money. Like, I don't want people to know I have money, or people to, you understand what I'm saying?
Wealth comes in many ways.
Yes, but I also want to know that they don't know nothing that I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? You like you see what I'm saying? You like that whatever they think they got access to, I got access to that too.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I already know that there's things I don't know. And I'm gonna learn more from that, and
you know,
it's deep, bro.
Like the good books, like I look at these certain books, right, and some of these books cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars, man.
Yeah.
Who can afford those? Who want? You know what I'm saying? I can buy a book. The book costs $450. You know what I'm saying? I can't get a PDF. I can't get a Xerox. Gotta get a hardcore copy.
Yeah, so the what do you call it? That's what I want to talk about too. The Knights Templar.
I don't know much about that.
Yeah, the Knights Templar was huge all through Europe and the Middle East.
Those are the Christians, right?
Yeah, those are the Christian side. Yeah.
Crusaders. The killers. That's
like, see, for me, the Christians and the Muslims both did a fair share of killing.
Yes.
So by the way, let me clarify the air that like. Not only was I born Catholic, and I was in a.
So how do you force a belief on a people through violence, and then say that's the standard religion?
You gotta remember that, like, you're trying to like put today's now times to like that time. It was like 600 years ago. Those people back then, no offense, all of them. We're on a whole nother mindset the way we think right now, and they were on like.
But what about the energy? You think the energy transfers? Like I give you an instance.
Just that stressful at the time.
I'll give you an instance.
A lot of rats.
I believe, right? Me personally, right? And people might think I'm crazy for saying this, right? But I think that, and I thought this since I was a kid, right? That that white Jesus picture, right?
Okay.
Right. Has a lot to do with black people's situation, right? Because I feel as if, right, even if you don't even know it, right?
Okay.
All the people all over this country, right, they go to church, right, and they pray to this certain being or this certain entity, right?
That's everywhere, bro. I mean, like, I've delivered furniture into black houses that's like, you see nothing but black faces in their houses. with a black Jesus.
I know, but
and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all.
My grandmother. If listen, I bought my.
You know what I mean? There's Chinese Jesus.
I bought. I'm just gonna say I bought one year. I went to Building 19, Mike, when I was a kid, and there was a black Jesus picture.
Yeah.
And it caught my eye, and I bought it, and I brought it home, and it was not accepted.
No shit.
Yeah, what I'm saying to you.
What I'm saying, dude. Like
that. But that's how deep did that guy. You know what I'm saying to you? Is implanted in people's minds, man. Like that's deep, Mike. That face, that blonde, that's the guy. When people close their eyes, if you close your eyes,
right,
and they say Jesus, and that's who you see, that's your God.
Yeah,
that's your image. That's who you look at as the supreme being who created all of this, the oceans, the seas. That's that picture.
Right.
That's powerful. Who said that? Who said that? That's the like that's some powerful. You know what I'm saying? You know, like whoa.
The thing, the literature I've come across and the things that come my way that I really believe to be true is that not only has there been a Jesus, but you have the Black Madonna. You have her giving immaculate exception as well. There's prophets around the world, maybe whether if it's Prophet Muhammad. I just want to question. I just want to finish real quick. Prophet Muhammad, Buddha. There's other ones that we don't even mention yet that all fit the scripture of a Jesus. However,
I understand.
in all what I see of that is that when society is so, and what they all have in common that people always overlook, and I'll just show it to you right now, is that all they have in common is somewhere in society, all those societies were in such a filth and disgust that it needed something like that to happen. And the ones that not noticed, the ones that saw it were saved, and the ones that weren't perished.
And I agree when you say that a lot, right? But I don't think it was all societies. I think it was some certain places, certain areas, I don't think that all people needed that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't believe that, like, they try to make it seem like all of these older civilizations were just violent and chaos going on. I believe that some of these people actually lived in peace and they great and they raised
that too.
You understand what I'm saying? And I think that was the majority. But I think that the minority with the weapons, you understand what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You're like
war builds society. I mean, like if you go deep into history, bro, the history of the Middle East and Asia and the Romans recorded.
They're conquering.
Let me just say this.
Yeah, they're conquerors.
Recorded history. It's what we know of, and what we know of it. There's a lot of poverty, a lot of war, a lot of death, drug use. Societies built on top of other societies, and it's been going on since before ancient Egypt. Here we are today dealing with the exact same problems they had back then.
Shit, right?
It's the same. The name and face is different, but the situation is identical. Yeah. And then somewhere along the line we find ourselves in it, and it goes right back around a full circle. Like, how did we all get here? And in past life experience, or just. You can live past life in two different ways. You've lived this, like I've lived this life at 42 years old. Each year, it's a whole different chapter than the year before, and the one that's going to come after. And whether if I learn from that, I'll develop into a wiser person next year. And if I don't, and if I ignore things and negatives, then I won't.
Yeah.
And it's just going to happen that way.
Yeah, if you just focus on sports.
Because that's well, sports is a good thing too, bro.
I know, but you can't like.
Because I can look at, bro, if I sat around and thought about poverty all the time and did nothing about it at the exact same time, I'm just wasting my time.
Yeah, I know.
Wasting my time.
But I always say sports because when I can't relate to a person, I always just throw sports out there, and it always grabs most guys.
I agree with you.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
95% of guys, you can throw some sports shit out there, and then y'all can start talking.